And you will know my name is the Lord.
I am God.
There you are.
Well, welcome. Hello. Welcome back. Welcome to the new set. It will look less like an enormous pile of crap one of these days. Speaking of enormous piles of crap, I have spent the last 3 hours fighting with OBS, with StreamYard, with Streamlab, and with Twitch, trying to bring you an even more triumphant return. As you may have noticed, none of those things happened. You're stuck with the same old crap, both in terms of technology and in terms of subject material. Welcome one, welcome all to the Junk Shop Library channel, where a manic, depressive, bisexual atheist tears into the King James Bible with a vengeance and subjects it to the scrutiny and ridicule it so profoundly deserves. That sounds appealing to you. Stick around. That doesn't sound appealing to you. Fuck right off and hit that thumbs down button on your way out the door, and don't let it hit you where the good Lord split you. It's been a long time. I don't remember how to get started. We've been off for 3 months. We have been. A full calendar quarter have we been off. Not streaming, not doing nothing. Except, of course, being afraid of brain tumors and moving house and getting the job and all that crap. But who cares? We're here to talk about the Bible. And we're here to communicate and commiserate and congregate with some of our nearest and dearest we've never seen face to face. I see the chat filling up. It's so good to see everybody. I see my wonderful spouse, Julie. I see One Ring and Little Wolf and Godless Sewing and Surf and B. Hey, man, how's it going? It's been a minute. Several other people in here, I know, but my chat is running behind. Lisa for Truth, of course. String Theories, new friend of the channel in the grand scheme of things. And way back up the scroller somewhere, the difficult to type Nevermore. Good to see everybody. Thank you all for being here. This show and the others like it on the Mayhem and Foolishness Network, www.mayhemandfoolishnessproductions.com, would not be possible and would not be still around without the ongoing support of the fantabulous folks whose names you see listed here at the bottom of the screen. My wonderful Patreon patrons who have stuck with me during a dramatic dearth of content and a dramatic lack of spoons. I truly, truly can't thank them enough. I got to hang out with some of them this morning when we dealt with the Catholic Catechism for the first time in an absolute dog's age. We had fun. Y'all been around long enough. Y'all know what I got to do next. I got to thank, in especial and in particular, my very first patron, my top tier patron, and a man I am proud to call my friend, the one and only Mr. Paul Kamish, a man who has thrown his back into the support of the library to an extent that I didn't think anybody could ever be arsed to. Thank you, my friend. And thank you for the prompt to get back on the horse and fly the fucking plane. Oh, so good to see everybody. I don't hardly know where to start. I don't know where my glasses are. Neither of these things come as any surprise to any of you. Thankfully, I have a bookmark, which reminds me that we are still stuck in the book of Hosea. Because we've only done one episode of Hosea, and it only ran like 45 fucking minutes, and that was 3 goddamn months ago. So, Hosea, if memory serves, because I had to go back for a little refresher earlier, if memory serves, we ended on chapter 4, which means we now turn to the 5th chapter of the book of the prophet Hosea. Hey, Bree, good to see you. Did I say 4? I meant 5. None of y'all following along in your pew Bibles at home. Who am I kidding? Chapter 5. Hear ye this, O priests, and hearken, ye house of Israel, and give ye ear, O house of the king, for judgment is toward you, because ye have been a snare on Mizpah, and a net spread upon Tabor. And the revolters are profound to make slaughter, though I have been a rebuker of them all. I know Ephraim, and Israel is not hid from me. For now, O Ephraim, thou committest whoredom, and Israel is defiled. They will not frame their doings to turn unto their God, for the spirit of whoredoms is in the midst of them, and they have not known the Lord. And the pride of Israel doth testify to his face. Therefore shall Israel and Ephraim fall in their iniquity. Judah also shall fall with them. They shall go with their flocks and with their herds to seek the Lord, but they shall not find him. He hath withdrawn himself from them. They have dealt treacherously against the Lord, for they have begotten strange children. Now shall a month devour them with their portions. Blow ye the cornet in Gibeah, and the trumpet in Ramah. Cry aloud at Beth Aven. After thee, O Benjamin. Ephraim shall be desolate in the day of rebuke. Among the tribes of Israel have I made known that which shall surely be. The princes of Judah were like them that remove the bound. Therefore I will pour out my wrath upon them like water. Ephraim is oppressed and broken in judgment, because he willingly walked after the commandment. Therefore will I be unto Ephraim as a moth, and to the house of Judah as rottenness. When Ephraim saw his sickness, and Judah saw his wound, then went Ephraim to the Assyrian, and sent to King Jareb. Yet could he not heal you, nor cure you of your wound. For I will be unto Ephraim as a lion, and as a young lion to the house of Judah. I, even I, will tear and go away. I will take away, and none shall rescue him. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early. And there we have the 5th chapter of the prophet Hosea, Moths and Lions. It doesn't get any better with age, does it? Just more of this same crap. God gets all bitchy because nobody will suck his dick, and then he decides to smite or be a lion or be a moth. Lion, moth. Okay, so just another one of these damn prophecies that shakes out the same way, right? God's pissed off because God ain't got worshipped good enough. So God's going to make life hard. Here endeth the lesson. We are eventually going to have something happen again, right? I mean, at some point, we've got to switch back to the narrative. There's got to be something actually fucking happen. Y'all excuse me if that was too loud. I'm getting used to this new microphone. I don't know about y'all, but for me, other than hearing about what somebody dreamed last night, pardon me, that yawn snuck up on me. I beg your pardon. Other than hearing about what somebody dreamed last night, there's not a lot less interesting than listening to somebody proclaim all that they're gonna do. And that's all Yahweh's been fucking doing for about the last 200 pages, is say what he's gonna do, and it's all been the same. I will rend, and none shall mend. I will scatter, and none shall gather. I will tear asunder, and none shall fix. Until the time comes when they turn unto me yet again and say, O Lord, let us please be thy slaves yet again. And then I'll say, all right, sure, I guess you learned your lesson this time. For about the 300th fucking time in the course of a 300-page book. You came back for this. I came back for this. All right. Well, while we're glutting ourselves on punishment, I guess we might as well glut ourselves on chapter 6. It's short. Come, and let us return to the Lord, for he hath torn, and he will heal us. He hath smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days will he revive us. In the 3rd day he will raise us up, and we shall live in his sight. Then shall we know, if we follow on to know the Lord. His going forth is prepared as the morning, and he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth. O Ephraim, what shall I do unto thee? O Judah, what shall I do unto thee? For your goodness is as a morning cloud, and as the early dew it goeth away. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them with the words of my mouth, and thy judgments are as the light that goeth forth. For I desired mercy and not sacrifice, and the knowledge of God more than burnt offerings. But they, like men, have transgressed the covenant. There they have dealt treacherously against me. Gilead is a city of them that work iniquity, and is polluted with blood. And as troops of robbers wait for a man, so the company of priests murder in the way by consent, for they commit lewdness. I have seen an horrible thing in the house of Israel. There is the whoredom of Ephraim. Israel is defiled. Also, O Judah, he hath set an harvest for thee, when I return the captivity of my people. That's chapter 6. God's annoyed. What else is new? Papa Cross, Papa Spank. Oh my Lord, this book is never going to end. We've been doing this for almost 3 years, y'all. 3 years have we been doing this almost. Admittedly, counting some of the hiatuses that I have taken, but still, my Lord, we could have gone through it in the Revised Common Lectionary. Yeah, I missed the four-faced monsters on unicycles as well. Now, here's my question. When? Oh, when? In this fucking book, have we ever gotten the least, slightest, most whispery, infinitesimal, still, small voice of a whispering, whinging, tiny little hint that God wanted mercy more than sacrifice? Lisa, back me up on this. We spent the first, this much of a book that's only this long talking about how to sacrifice, what to sacrifice, when to sacrifice it, how often to sacrifice it, how to prepare it for being sacrificed, what to do with it after the sacrifice, who could eat what parts of the sacrifice, what you were to do with particular portions of the sacrifice. Some of it you had to throw, some of it you had to wave in the air, some of it you had to heave. Y'all remember the heave offering? And yet here comes God and has the absolute fucking effrontery to say that he wasn't all that interested in sacrifices in the first place. The hell? Yes, you were. You spent 3 books telling us you were. God lost his memory? Is that what we're dealing with here? God's bored. God's rewriting the rules. Or is it possibly that we're just dealing with one of the most poorly edited anthologies of Bronze Age fiction imaginable? Somebody summon me, Steven Zemianovitz. Give me a real editor. Where's Martin Greenberg when you need him? Somebody get me an editor and a copywriter while we're at it. Oh, my stars. If God didn't answer you, yeah. Purple says if God didn't answer your prayers, it's probably because you didn't kill something properly. Yes, well, that was always what it led us to believe back in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, and clean into Ruth. Now all of a sudden here comes little Hosea saying, I don't want your blood sacrifices. I just want you to be nice and obedient. Well, news to me. Chapter 7. When I would have healed Israel, then the iniquity of Ephraim was discovered, and the wickedness of Samaria. For they commit falsehood, and the thief cometh in, and the troop of robbers spoileth without. And they consider not in their hearts that I remember all their wickedness. Now their own doings have beset them about. They are before my face. They make the king glad with their wickedness, and the princes with their lies. They are all adulterers, as an oven heated by the baker, who ceaseth from raising after he hath kneaded the dough until it be leavened. In the day of our king, the princes have made him sick with bottles of wine. He stretched out his hand with scorners. For they have made ready their heart like an oven, whilst they lie in wait. Their baker sleepeth all the night. In the morning it burneth as a flaming fire. They are all hot as an oven, and have devoured their judges. All their kings are fallen, there is none among them that calleth unto me. Ephraim, he hath mixed himself among the people. Ephraim is a cake, not turned. Strangers have devoured his strength, and he knoweth it not. Gray hairs are here and there upon him, yet he knoweth not. And the pride of Israel testifieth to his face, and they do not return to the Lord their God, nor seek him. For all this, Ephraim also is like a silly dove without heart. They call to Egypt, they go to Assyria. When they shall go, I will spread my net upon them. I will bring them down as the fowls of the heaven. I will chastise them as their congregation hath heard. Woe unto them, for they have fled from me. Destruction unto them, because they have transgressed against me. Though I have redeemed them, yet they have spoken lies against me. And they have not cried unto me with their heart when they howled upon their beds. They assemble themselves for corn and wine, and they rebel against me. Though I have bound and strengthened their arms, yet do they imagine mischief against me. They return, but not to the Most High. They are like a deceitful bow. Their princes shall fall by the sword for the rage of their tongue. This shall be their derision in the land of Egypt. Hosea chapter 7. Which, as far as I can tell, essentially boils down to sooner or later, God's going to cut you down. I tell you one thing. These prophets, these minor prophets in whose texts we currently labor, these minor prophets, you're not likely to misinterpret them, are you? Because they repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, and then they say it again. I don't know if you got heard the rumor, but Mr. Ephraim in some deep fucking shit. I wonder what Ephraim did that was so particularly bad. Because we've had prophets upon prophets groaning and moaning about how naughty was the house of Ephraim. They went astray after other gods. Well, so fucking what? Didn't they all? Isn't that kind of the eternal refrain of the deity throughout the last third of this book? Is off they go after other gods. So what's so special about Ephraim? It's not even like they went after a female god, which is something that Yahweh tends to take particular exception to, as far as I can tell thus far. Heaven help you if you set up them Asherah poles and bow down to the sacred groves. Yahweh does not like the fertility deities, and the female ones in particular. He is all about smiting down. Maybe it was. Ring says maybe this was written when Ephraim sided with Israel against Judah. That's entirely possible. I don't know my biblical chronology. I leave that to KC and G, honestly. I'm just going through page by page. Which has its upsides and its downsides, I will admit. It's not just coffee. Okay. We hadn't even been going half an hour yet. Let's do some more Hosea. See if anything actually fucking happens. Set the trumpet to thy mouth. He shall come as an eagle against the house of the Lord, because they have transgressed my covenant and trespassed against my law. Israel shall cry unto me, my God, we know thee. Israel has cast off the thing that is good. The enemy shall pursue him. They have set up kings, but not by me. They have made princes, and I knew it not. Of their silver and their gold have they made them idols, that they may be cut off. Thy calf, O Samaria, hath cast thee off. Mine anger is kindled against them. How long will it be ere they attain to innocency? For from Israel was it also. The workman made it, therefore it is not God. But the calf of Samaria shall be broken in pieces, for they have sown the wind, and they shall reap the whirlwind. It hath no stalk, the bud shall yield no meal. If so be it yield, the strangers shall swallow it up. Contingency plan. Nice to have. Thanks, God. Israel is swallowed up. Now shall they be among the Gentiles as a vessel wherein is no pleasure. For they are gone up to Assyria, a wild ass alone by himself. Ephraim hath hired lovers. Yea, though they have hired among the nations, now will I gather them, and they shall sorrow a little for the burden of the king of princes. Because Ephraim hath made many altars to sin, altars shall be unto him to sin. I have written to him the great things of my law, but they were counted as a strange thing. They sacrifice flesh for the sacrifices of mine offerings, and eat it. But the Lord accepteth them not, nor will he important distinction that consonant brings. Now will he remember their iniquity and visit their sins. They shall return to Egypt. For Israel hath forgotten his maker, and buildeth temples, and Judah hath multiplied fenced cities. But I will set a fire upon his cities, and it shall devour the palaces thereof. And there we have chapter 8. God's still mad. Still mighty cheesed off at Ephraim. Is there more here that I'm missing? Is there like deep magic from before the dawn of time that I'm not reading here? Is there stuff between the lines that I'm not excavating? Because as far as I can tell, it's just God's cheesed off that he ain't getting worshipped exclusive enough. See? That's what happens when you try to be all things to all men. It never works out well. Not even for gods. Damn, I gotta clean up this background. This is... You can't even tell there's a library here. It just looks like junk shop. All right. Half an hour. How long is this fucking book? It's 14 chapters, but they're short. We aren't going to finish it today, but we'll do what damage we can. Stuff. It's hard out here for a pimp. Chapter 9. Rejoice not, O Israel, for joy, as other people, for thou hast gone a whoring from thy God. Thou hast loved a reward upon every corn floor. The floor and the winepress shall not feed them, and the new wine shall fail in her. They shall not dwell in the Lord's land, but Ephraim shall return to Egypt, and they shall eat unclean things in Assyria. Take care, little wolf. Good to see you. They shall not offer wine offerings to the Lord, neither shall they be pleasing unto him. Their sacrifices shall be unto them as the bread of mourners. All that eat thereof shall be polluted, for their bread for their soul shall not come into the house of the Lord. What will ye do in the solemn day, and in the day of the feast of the Lord? For, lo, they are gone because of destruction. Egypt shall gather them up. Memphis shall bury them. The pleasant places for their silver, nettles shall possess them. Thorns shall be in their tabernacles. The days of visitation are come. The days of recompense are come. Israel shall know it. The prophet is a fool, the spiritual man is mad, for the multitude of thine iniquity and the great hatred. The watchman of Ephraim was with my God, but the prophet is a snare of a fowler in all his ways, and hatred in the house of his God. They have deeply corrupted themselves, as in the days of Gibeah. Therefore he will remember their iniquity, he will visit their sins. I found Israel like grapes in the wilderness. I saw your fathers as the first ripe in the fig tree at her first time, but they went to Baal Peor and separated themselves unto that shame, and their abominations were according as they loved. As for Ephraim, their glory shall fly away like a bird from the birth, and from the womb, and from the conception. Though they bring up their children, yet will I bereave them, that there shall not be a man left. Yea, woe also unto them when I depart from them. Ephraim, as I saw Tyrus, is planted in a pleasant place, but Ephraim shall bring forth his children to the murderer. Give them, O Lord, what wilt thou give? Give them a miscarrying womb and dry breasts. All their wickedness is in Gilgal, for there I hated them. For the wickedness of their doings I will drive them out of mine house. I will love them no more. All their princes are revolters. Ephraim is smitten. Their root is dried up. They shall bear no fruit. Yea, though they bring forth, yet will I slay even the beloved fruit of their womb. My God will cast them away, because they did not hearken unto him, and they shall be wanderers among the nations. All right. We got to take a pause. We got to take a pause here. Because Old Junkshop got to do a little rant about the misogyny. There is nothing more just nauseous, cringe-inducing, phobia-triggering to the Bronze Age men who wrote this book, or iron. Apparently, then the portions of a woman that fall between navel and knees. I mean, seriously. We are this far into this mess. This far. This is what we have left, y'all. This is what we've gotten through. We are this far into this mess. And we have, if y'all hear, I don't know how good this microphone is. I suspect it of being quite good. If you hear weird splashing noises, I've got a pleco that hasn't decided whether or not it's nocturnal or diurnal, and it's splooshing and splashing around. So ignore that. But, I mean, every time Israel, or God forbid, Ephraim, goes and worships another God, a strange God, how is it characterized? He goes a-whoring. He transgresses the God-given bounds of matrimony. He does the dirty. He makes the beast with two backs. He gets all fun off. Every time these people have to describe something as being repellent, as being contaminated, as somehow being inherently just fucking nasty. And what do? They say it's like some kind of woman. A strange woman, a foreign woman, a menstruating woman, God forbid, a whore. Every time. Like, for those of you who ain't been around real long, y'all may not remember when it used to be the thing where instead of the Holy Bible, because I'm out of practice and it's been a long time, but we called it the The Big Book of War Crimes and Outdated Regulations, Utter Madness and Abuse. Get your Big Book of War Crimes merch at the link in the description below if I remembered to copy it down there. But this Iron Age nonsense, I mean, I don't even want to dignify it with the term unenlightened. Just this, thank you, Lisa, this patriarchal Iron Age crap, where the worst thing you can say about somebody is that they are womanish. And the worst way you can characterize any behavior is to say that they have gone a whoring. I mean, you want to talk about, and I'm doing this rant this week, right? Y'all are netizens. Y'all know what's going on right now. There truly is nothing new under the sun. Don't be a whore. Be faithful. Stick true to your man and your God. Cover up. I said it on Twitter yesterday, but I logged into OnlyFans for the first time in I don't know how fucking long the other night. And all the ads were for people who make videos of themselves eating hot wings while fully clothed. MasterCard is causing problems. It's real work, y'all. It's harder work than I've ever done. I'll tell you that goddamn much. Hey, Ox. But I ramble. But I think it's an important point to bring up. When Solomon had 700 wives and 900 concubines, he was a man of great prowess. He was a uniter of kingdoms. He danced the dance of politics with great skill with his cock. But you set up one Asherah pole and all of a sudden you're a filthy fucking whore. This book is stupid. It's stupid. It was outdated by the time it was compiled. This was Iron Age nonsense compiled in the Middle Ages. They should have known better by then. My God. Yeah, no smiting today. Sorry, y'all. No smiting. Threat of smiting and speechifying about smiting in the past tense, but no actual anything going on. I am so tired of nations, of peoples, of cults, of friends of mine being condemned as whores for whatever they do, as though that's a bad thing. Is there orifices Let them do with it what they desire. Shut the fuck up and mind your own goddamn business. Yahweh. The threat of smite. Exactly. That's all we've had so far. And that and the fact that Ephraim was apparently smitten in the past tense. Although apparently not real good, because he's still prowling around and going a-whoring after other gods. Chapter 10. Israel is an empty vine. He bringeth forth fruit unto himself. According to the multitude of his fruit he hath increased the altars. According to the goodness of his land they have made goodly images. Their heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty. He shall break down their altars. He shall spoil their images. For now they shall say, we have no king, because we feared not the Lord. What then should a king do to us? They have spoken words, swearing falsely in making a covenant. Thus judgment springeth up as hemlock in the furrows of the field. The inhabitants of Samaria shall fear because of the calves of Beth Aven. For the people thereof shall mourn over it, and the priests thereof that rejoiced on it for the glory thereof, because it is departed from it. It shall also be carried unto Assyria for a present to King Jareb. Ephraim shall receive shame, and Israel shall be ashamed of his own counsel. As for Samaria, her king is cut off as the foam upon the water. The high places also of Aven, the sin of Israel, shall be destroyed. The thorn and the thistle shall come up on their altars, and they shall say to the mountains, cover us, and to the hills, fall on us. O Israel, thou hast sinned from the days of Gibeah. There they stood. The battle in Gibeah against the children of iniquity did not overtake them. It is in my desire that I should chastise them, and the people shall be gathered against them when they shall bind themselves in their two furrows. And Ephraim is as an heifer that is taught, and loveth to tread out the corn. But I passed over upon her fair neck. I will make Ephraim to ride. Judah shall plow, and Jacob shall break his clods. Sow to yourselves in righteousness, reap in mercy, break up your fallow ground. For it is time to seek the Lord, till he come and rain righteousness upon you. Ye have plowed wickedness, ye have reaped iniquity, ye have eaten the fruit of lies, because thou didst trust in thy way, in the multitude of thy mighty men. Therefore shall a tumult arise among thy people, and all thy fortresses shall be spoiled, as Shalman spoiled Beth Arbel in the day of battle. The mother was dashed to pieces upon her children. So shall Beth El do unto you because of your great wickedness. In a morning shall the king of Israel utterly be cut off. And there we have chapter 10. Okay, so in the course of the last 4 chapters or so, God has been a moth, a lion, a young lion, a pestilence, and now a farmer who's going to put y'all to work. Oh, my Lord, pick a metaphor. Jesus, pick one and stay with it. Fuck me running. This is bad writing, y'all. It's fucking terrible. This is no good at all. I mean, make up your mind. Pick. Ugh! Bad writing annoys me. And the best-selling book of all time being this badly written offends me profoundly. Everybody in this chat could do better than this. Some of y'all have. See Harmonica Man in there. Iron Age nonsense. And honestly, we've been going almost an hour, and I know we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4 chapters left of Hosea, but I think I'm about Hosea'd out. Plus, I don't want to step on Lisa's stream, and honestly, I'm sorry, Lisa, drop the link, but I don't remember what time it starts. I've been out of the loop so long. I don't know when anything starts or stops or happens or doesn't. I am completely at the mercy of the YouTube notification system, which means I don't see nothing. Well, I want to thank you all for coming by. Lions, moths, and whores. Have we discussed today? Metaphorical, all of them. Not a bloody actual lion to be seen. Not even a moth. Just God chewing holes in your clothes and mildly inconveniencing you. Or killing you outright. Or smashing your children to death with you. That was weird. Kind of came out of nowhere, that one did. You just can't make this shit up. I mean, manifestly somebody did, but holy crap, the drugs must have been good back then. Maybe that's evidence of a young earth and of genetic entropy. The drugs have gotten worse as time goes on. It's like the flat earthers, the religious flat earthers say about man's lifespan. You know, you had Adam and Methuselah, and now we live like this. Heavens above. All right. Well, thank you all for coming. Special thank you to my wonderful patrons listed at the bottom of the screen who have kept this bloody mess afloat and who have stuck around during a time when I didn't put out shit. Thank you. It means the world. It really does. And thank all y'all for coming and hanging out with me, listening to me rant and ramble and rave. Having fun in the chat. I don't know what kind of schedule we're looking at getting back to here on the channel. The new job takes a lot out of me, and so the weekend or the weekday night streams may be a thing of the past, except if I just really get a bee in my bonnet. I'm going to try to get back into the swing of things with the weekend stream, with the Book of Mormon on Saturday and the Improv Bible Study on Sunday. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if interest is still out there. That's all I've got in the way of announcements and closing. Thank you all for your support of the channel. There was something else I was going to tell y'all, but butterfly thought. All right. I'm going to go finish my drink. I'm going to go have a cigarette, and I'm going to go have me a dose of my anti-anxiety medication, because I talk a good talk, but being out here and exposed in front of all y'all on camera makes me stressed. It's prescribed. I take it as prescribed. You should yours as well. Speaking of which, I want to bring back the mental health stream. Let me know when a good time is. Purple, I know you told me when the best time was for you, but honestly and truly, I don't remember. My DMs are always open. Until we gather again, everybody take care. Everybody be safe. Stand against hate. And we'll see y'all again soon. Thank you, camera, for sticking with me through the entire hour this time. God damn.